Hello everybody and welcome to this latest episode of the Money Man News, and today we're going to look at a fantastic new series that has just been introduced in the Gulf state of Qatar. That's right, we've become very accustomed to staggered releases in many countries around the world, but Qatar is not following that trend. They have released an entire series just in the month of December alone, and we're going to have a look at every denomination in a little bit of detail. So here we go. So the first banknote I'm going to show you is the lowest denomination in the 5th series of the Qatari Riyal, and it is of course the 1 Riyal note, and here it is. And you can see very nice banknotes. If you know Qatari banknotes, if you are aware of the 4th series and their design elements, you probably know what's coming here. There are a lot of design elements that have been carried over from the 4th series into this new 5th series, and I think you'll see that as we go along. However, I do have some reservations about this series, some opinions that I will share with you at the end of this video, so do stick around for that towards the end. But one notable addition to this series is we actually have the Qatari flag featured on the front, not just the coat of arms. You can see the coat of arms just to the right of center. If you were paying attention to the start of the video, I showed you the Qatari coat of arms, and you can see that same coat of arms just to the right of the center of the banknote. The crossed swords with the sea, and you can see the palm tree and what looks like a sailboat. So there we go. So the previous series definitely had the coat of arms on, but I don't think it had the national flag. So that's an interesting addition. And what you have is these lovely patterns that move through the banknote that sort of look like mosaics, really. They look like the ornate floor of a mosque or something like that. And you can see we've got this wonderful archway with this huge double doors, very ornate, very beautifully crafted. Looks like the entrance to some kind of ornate mosque. I'm not quite sure what these double doors represent. Maybe it's the royal palace or something like that, but you see them throughout this series, so that's something to take note of. So let's have a look at the reverse. Here we go. Now, the reverse of these banknotes continue with the same theme that the 4th series implemented, which is basically homage to the economy, culture, and Qatari society and history, basically. So you've got images that represent those core elements of Qatari society. And what you have here is a sailboat, and I believe just to the left we've got a large pearl. And if you think where Qatar is situated, one of the Gulf states, that's always been a region that has been, sort of nestled between large empires and a very important trade route throughout history. And I believe that pearls were a valuable resource that were collected from the region as far back as Roman times. So that is why I think it's probably a pearl on the left, or it could just be some sculpture that sits in Qatar somewhere. I'm really not sure, but that's my guess. So a little bit of a nod to the pearl industry, a little bit of a nod to Qatar's maritime history and culture. So interesting. Now let's have a look at the next denomination, which is the 5 Riyal note, and I like the color scheme of this. I think it's very nice. I like how the sort of reflective surface of the security strip sort of ties in with the color scheme of the banknote, and you can see that we've got this sort of like floral image to the right hand side on the banknotes that has a reflective quality to it. One of the new security features that we see quite a lot in banknotes these days. So very nice banknote. Let's have a look at the reverse. Okay, so the reverse features several different animals. We've got camels, horses, and some kind of East African animal. I don't know if they're ibex or something like that. And then what looks like some kind of Bedouin tent behind. So I'm just wondering if this, again, is paying respects to Qatar's sort of place as being on an important historic trade route. That would be my guess, and it could be a nod towards the tribal sort of semi-nomadic lifestyle of the peoples of Qatari past. I'm not sure. I'm just making sort of reasonably educated guesses there. But yeah, I think that's what's being represented here. The sort of animal trade, which that region has always been an integral part of, between India and Africa and then around the Arabian Peninsula. You know, the Gulf states sit along that very important trade route. So let's have a look at the next one. Okay, the 10 Riyal note. Now, I like the crisp blue colour of this. Very, very nice indeed. You can see we've got lots of wonderful patterns moving through the background, but basically very similar to the other denominations, so I'll skip over this quite quickly. Now, the reverse. So you can see here that we've got what looks to be a large stadium. Now, is this a stadium where the next World Cup games will be played, or some of them will be played? Because of course Qatar is due to host the next World Cup. We just don't know if it's going to go ahead with all the nonsense that's gone on this year. But it's quite interesting, and I'm not sure what the interesting obscure building is behind it. So I'm not sure what this sort of chimney stack thing is either. It looks like some kind of monument, but I really don't know. It could just be, I don't know, something that they've built in preparation for the games, for the tournament. I honestly don't know, but that stadium is probably going to be where the first game and the final is played. But again, I'm just firing from the hip here. So if anyone knows, do let us know in the comments, because what I love about this channel and what we do is when you guys chime in, I think it creates a nice sense of community, and I like to explore these ideas with you guys rather than just telling you what they are. I like to try and guess and figure it out. If I become really invested in something, then I'll definitely go away and do the research. And later on, I'll probably do a more detailed video when I actually get real examples of these banknotes in my hand, and then I can tell you exactly what's on them. But until now, I like to just theorize and guess. So do let me know if my hunches are wrong. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, the 50 Riyal note. Nice, interesting colour scheme. Quite like this one. And you've got the addition of a further reflective sort of diamond-shaped image that has the Qatari coat of arms and the denomination of 50 and some birds in flight in the background. So you've got that extra added security feature as the value of the banknotes increases. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same as the others. So let's have a look at the reverse of the 50. Okay, now this is the Qatari Central Bank building. I'm 95% sure of that. Again, a common theme that you see on a lot of banknotes these days. At least one of the denominations has the central bank building of the the central bank that issues the currency. Quite a common thing these days. So there we go. I might actually do a series on that, or maybe Numismatics with Benjamin could do that if he's watching. Central banks on the reverse of banknotes, because there are loads of examples. So there we go. Let's see. Maybe he'll conjure that up in the future. Okay. Okay, so the next one is the 100, and interestingly, it looks kind of similar to the 10. But the notable change here is obviously you've got that reflective sort of shape just to the left of center of the banknote, and we've got an eagle represented with the cross swords of Qatar. So you can see some slight changes to the security features and changes to the coloration of the reflective surfaces, but pretty much the same nonetheless. So let's have a look at the reverse of the 100 Qatari Riyal. Now, this is a very interesting one. This looks to me like some kind of ancient mosque. Well, when I say ancient, I should say old, because the architecture looks, it looks old, and it's quite a short, low-profile building. So that is what my guess is, some kind of prominent historic mosque. But the design is unusual. It does look like it has a kind of minaret and lots of domes. That's the only thing that's making me think that it could be a mosque, but it is of unusual design. So do let me know if my hunch is completely wrong there. But what you see in the background of this banknote, you can see just little images of ships in the background. So you can see that continuing theme of a maritime nation continuing throughout this series. It's subtle, but it's there. It does become more obvious as we go through the other couple of denominations. So let's have a look at the next one. So the next one is the 200 Riyal note, and I love the color scheme of this. I think it's got a really nice, warm color scheme to it. Very, very nice indeed, but pretty much the same as the others, really, in terms of its imagery. I do like the reflective color change to sort of like this gold color. It looks really, really nice. So let's have a look at the reverse. Now, the image I have of the reverse is of pretty poor quality, so I do apologize for that. I trawled through the internet to find a really good high definition image that I could, use, but I just couldn't find one. So this is the best we've got. I'm not too sure what's going on. Very modern building on the reverse here. I don't know what's going on. Could it be a hotel? It looks like something out of the Jetsons. I really don't know what it is. But there we go. Not much I can say about that. If you guys know, hit it down in the comments. I'd love to find out. Okay, let's have a look at the final and highest denomination, the 500 Qatari Riyal note. And I love the really beautiful purple color scheme of this one. Really, really appealing and eye-catching. And you can see we've got that really prominent security strip just to the right of center of the banknote. Really, really interesting. So, that tells you that this is probably the most important denomination, and it is. It's the highest. So let's have a look at the reverse. Now, of course, we've got an oil refinery and an oil tanker. So again, this feeds into the theme of being a maritime nation with the huge oil tanker on the back. But also, we're talking about the great source of Qatar's wealth, and that is, of course, its oil reserves, which are vast for such a small nation. This is what makes Qatar and other Gulf states so unbelievably wealthy and big players in the region, because they are sat on huge oil deposits. And Qatar is no different in that regard. So, of course, you're going to get an oil refinery and a tanker on the reverse. So that is what you have on all of the new series of banknotes. Now, what do I think about this? Well, I like the series. It's nice. But I prefer the 4th series. I think the previous series is much more vibrant. The color schemes are bolder. They're more impressive to look at. And they just look on the obverse and the reverse, they just look better in my opinion. So for me, this is a slight step back for Qatari banknotes in terms of aesthetic beauty. I would much rather prefer the 4th series over this new 5th series. So that's my opinion. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Are you excited to get hold of these? I'm still excited to get hold of them. I'm going to try my best. Qatari banknotes are not always that easy to get hold of, because there don't seem to be that many collectors in that area of the world that I have access to anyway. Maybe you guys do, I don't know. But when I get hold of examples of this, I will do a much more in-depth video, and maybe my opinion will change slightly, but from first impressions, I think the 4th series is much better, just in terms of aesthetic beauty. So there we have it. Let me know what you think about this new series down in the comment section. As always, your thoughts and feedback are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. It's the Money Man signing out for now. Bye-bye.